So everybody, welcome to another edition of our Swing Time video calls, and I'm very, very happy to welcome Mark McGeehan to the show. Mark, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, guys. I'm good.
Fantastic.
Chilled out in lockdown.
Chilled out in the man cave, I can see.
Absolutely.
So look, Mark, exactly, safety first. So Mark, this is all about you. Now, I want to know how you got into golf.
Okay. Well, started playing golf really in the school field, which our house backs onto, and just with my dad's old clubs. I think we were around age time, so relatively late coming into it with regard to the kids, and just learned how to hit the golf ball in the field, and then learned to run quite fast as well, because we put a few balls through neighbours' windows, and that's another story altogether. Knock on the door from the policeman one day saying, "Are you responsible for this?" And it was like, "Yeah, that's me."
I'll tell you, that's still me these days. Actually, I zigzag across the course, trying to get out there. So, look, Mark, you've been a professional now. When did you first turn professional?
Age 17, long time ago. So now 41, and 23 years into the golf trade. Started, I think at the time, going through the foundation degree program with the PGA. I was actually one of the youngest sort of recruits at that given time. Worked at Chippendale Golf Club, and that's where it all started off for me, down in Oxfordshire.
Oh, superb! But you're Yorkshire based now. You're a Yorkshireman these days.
Well, I was still kept the southern accent. I haven't gone Yorkshire yet, but it's a lovely place up here. So we've got a great academy. Where I'm based out of at the Manor. So 20 bay driving range and private swing studio suite, which is ideal. And obviously still very much an active competitor, playing professionally. And then also do some travel stuff. And yeah, it's busy days.
Let's get on to the active game now. We'll cover everything, but let's get to your active game. We met obviously on the 2020 Pro Tour. You played at Crossland Heath. How did that go for you?
To be honest, it was great. For me to get back out and compete and get the season underway after the weather that we had, and I think I mentioned in the interview, I'd actually just been coming back out of post-operation, my first operation ever. Had some issues with the right leg, and that caused some problems over the winter, but it was planned to have it pre-season and then getting back and playing full schedule and getting back to good fitness. So for me, I loved it. However, I did make a bit of a schoolboy error as well. It was a day of events. I think it was the fourth hole, the little short one. My wife's called Gem, and the hole was actually titled Little Gem, and I was level at that given point. And I thought, right, come on, let's knock this stiff. Let's make it two. Let's get going. Yeah, beautiful shot, but just slightly left, and then I realised. I thought, oh no! I've looked down, and two of us made the same issue. We've actually, both of us have hit it off the ladies' tee, so we incurred a 2-shot penalty. So it was all going on, but it was the first event, obviously, and it was great to get back out and see a few of the lads and get the season underway.
Definitely. Look, I know everything's delayed at the minute with this virus. We won't really talk about that too much. But what was your schedule looking like? Are you, when we get out of this, are you still going to get back out on the course this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. As soon as there's something to play in, I'll be there. I mean, golf is my life, my passion. I'm missing it so much right now, like I know a lot of the viewers will be. And I just can't wait to get the season of what we've got left of it underway.
I was going to ask, Mark, we would like to have a little laugh at a professional's expense, especially because when I'm on a course, I spend a lot of time embarrassing myself. Now, you have kind of covered off an embarrassing moment there at Crossland Heath, but has there been anything else that particularly stood out for you whilst you've been playing? You ever stood on the first tee and pulled an absolute stinker and thought, oh, no, I can't believe I did that?
I'm the king of embarrassing moments, so you've come to the right
should be good then. This should be good.
So there's been so many. It's a miracle I'm still here. But I've got to recall one which was probably one of my favourite. His name was Mr. Reeves, and he was actually one of my VIP clients at the time. I was the head teaching pro at the Welcome in Stratford, and every Saturday or Sunday he would come out and play 18 holes of golf with us. And you know, he's an old guy, age 72, 73, tweed cap, very frail, and actually a multi-millionaire. He wrote music, I believe, for Andrew Lloyd Webber, and he took residence in the hotel, which was a pretty cool place to be. And he on this morning, he is absolutely throwing swords down. It is chucking it down like you wouldn't believe. And we get to hole 11, which was you know, a big sort of 1 in 16 drop, and he's topping it, and it's soaking wet, and I'm like, come on, let's just get in. And it's top, and we're in the buggy, and of course I'm stop, start, and we get to this point of like the slope, and of course he's topped it again about another 20 yards, and of course the foot's gone down on the buggy. We're now going down. His ball's back there. I've touched the brake pedal. We are flying down like you wouldn't believe it. We're like doing 360s down the hill with my VIP client. He gets tossed out. I lose control completely. I'm tossed out of the buggy. The buggy ends up in a hedge about 20 yards away on the right-hand side, and he's 100 yards down the middle of the fairway in a heap, motionless. I was thinking I've killed him. So I get down to the bottom of the hill, and he's there, and he's still not moving. I'm thinking I've killed my VIP client there, and I'm shaking him, and he says, "All right, Mr. Reeves, are you okay?" And he just went, "Mark, what happened?" And I said, "We had a little accident." He said, "I learned how to roll like that when I was skiing," and it was brilliant. So thankfully, he didn't die. So that was pretty embarrassing moment.
Mark, you've got me in tears. That has got to be the best one I've ever heard. I've done a series of these in motorsport as well, and I've never heard anything like that.
So, yeah, God bless him. I mean, if he was alive now, he'd be probably into his 90s. So if you're out there, then Mr. Reeves, you're a star. But bless him.
I don't really know where to go with that now. Well, look, Mark, let's go back into your career then. Like you said, you've been professional since you were 17. Have you had a particular career highlight that you'd let's talk positive now? What's been a career highlight for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's been many actually, and when I look back, and this is the time to look back. So I've met some incredible stars. I've played with a former #1 player being Lee Westwood. You know, to meet Lee was fantastic, and to see how these guys do it, and obviously then you try and pitch a game and you see the differences. Also, very fortunate to become, you know, pretty friendly and play quite a lot of golf with Rafa Cabrera-Bello. In fact, here in my little man cave, here's my daughter. So that's pictured with Rafa, and he actually signed a lovely golf ball up for her as well. So I've played quite a lot of golf with Rafa and watched him practice and play and see how that's done. So that's great.
He's a talented lad, Rafa, isn't he? He really is.
He's one of the fittest guys out there. It's just insane how chiseled he is. And then, yeah, I mean, winning is great. So to come out on top of any event is brilliant. I love that. I've actually played just short of 1,000 different golf courses across the world in this period of time. Wow. So I've experienced some amazing venues and destinations, and played lots of golf with some great people. So yeah, it's been a fun existence. Hole in one, obviously they're always good. I've had two.
How many have you had? How many have you had?
Two hole in ones. Two hole in ones. The last one came back in 2017, which was a long wait. The first one came in my first week of turning pro, and thought this is easy, and then I didn't have one until then.
I can say, Mark, that's so you've had two. Let me just work that out. So that's two more than I've ever had. Yeah, well done.
Mark, they're nice moments.
You mentioned you've played 1,000 courses, or over 1,000 courses. Just short.
Very anorakely documented how many I have played. So,
so I'm going to put this question to you then. All right, you can only play one course for the rest of your life. Where is it?
Oh. I'm going to have to throw this one out there and probably say Muirfield. I love Muirfield. I just think there's something very, very, very special about that place. I mean, having said that, I've yet to play this other golf course, which I'm going to say, so I'm going to change that answer. Augusta. Augusta.
Of course. Would you believe you're the first person who said that, actually, which is quite surprising.
I mean, it's obviously the one that I've yet to play. I've walked it many times, but yeah, I'd love to play Augusta.
Yes, and I know, Mark, I don't know if you can bring it in, but you've got a couple of Masters flags there, haven't you? Can we have a look?
There we go. Yes.
Weapons there.
And very fortunately, I run a small travel business as well, and take clients to Augusta and the Masters, and it's a great experience. It is really the most breathtaking place on the earth.
Well, let's talk travel then. Let's talk your travel company. You obviously go to the Masters. Where else do you go? Do you organise US Open events, US PGA?
We do all over the world. And also, I mean, Harbour Town is another one of my favourite golf courses. So we take clients down to Harbour Town, Cure Island, Bay Hill, you name it. There's not a golf course in the world that we actually can't get you on. Even if you want to, have those amazing luxury experiences, then we can do that.
If you could get me onto my local council course, that'd be great, because it's always full and it takes about 6 hours to do a round.
Nothing wrong with the local courses.
I'll tell you what, my local course is fantastic, I have to say, but because of that, it's very, very busy, certainly in the height of summer, and unfortunately, it does take a fair old while to get around. But hey, I can't knock it. They do a great job down there. They really, really do. So, Mark, you also do coaching as well. Let's talk about that a little bit. Are you coaching the next crop of youngsters, or is it a general kind of spread across the board?
No, it's pretty much doesn't really matter what age or ability people are at. I mean, we have set up a specialist junior coaching session on Saturday mornings called Champions of the Future. And there are some amazing little budding stars coming through there, both male and female. My daughter really was the catalyst to that. So bless her, she's got a great golf swing on her age now 8, but been coaching her since she could almost hold the golf club. So it's a great thing that I'm missing at the moment on Saturday mornings, and that's the engagement with both the juniors, the parents, and obviously my other regular clients as well. So I have a variety of players all the way from beginners through to the elite performer. I've been coaching a +1 handicapper, and previously coached some professionals as well, of which one recently went on to win it, which was great. So yeah, it's all momentum and was going in a really good direction up until
it will. We will be back. Do you get just as much sort of fulfillment? I know nothing will probably ever beat playing and certainly winning, but is there a certain level of pride when you see somebody making improvement? Now, I know, like I've said in a number of these videos, I'm probably about a 20 to 22 handicapper, and the biggest frustration for me is consistency. I'm a bit of a chopper at times, and it's really not a lot of fun. However, I feel that there's a few things that just need to click for me, and I can get that handicap down. Is it satisfying? It must be quite fulfilling when somebody says to you, do you know what, I really appreciate that. You've taken me from 25 or even 30, where I was really, really struggling, and you've actually helped me really enjoy the game a lot more.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, that's why we do it, really. You get those eureka moments, the penny drops, the breakthroughs, and to see the smile and the enjoyment that people have. And I mean, I will say there is nothing that compares to winning professionally, but on a day-to-day basis, when it's those small wins which are important, when you see they're hitting it a little bit straighter, they're hitting out the middle of the club a bit more, they're happier, and most importantly, they're getting a conscious understanding of the why and why it's happening. So it's not luck, it's not, let's just have a go. There's obviously very much a science to it, and the mental application for me is the breakthrough. If you can showcase your skill sets and people then get it, that's the best way, because there's nothing that makes, the feeling of that great golf shot hit off the middle of the club is one of the best anyway.
Let's talk the mental side again, because we know golf is a physical game. Yes, you're going to be walking out on the course quite a bit. You've got to concentrate, focus on the shots, and obviously there's a lot of movement across the hips, etc. with swinging. But the mental side is just as important, isn't it? How do you sort of when I get to about the 15th hole, I'll be totally honest, my head starts to go a little bit, and I start to think about the clubhouse and things like that, and getting around quick, and I start to get a bit sloppy, if I'm totally honest. As a professional yourself, if you're not in contention for a tournament, let's say you're well out, you're not going to trouble the leaderboard, even if you go birdie, you're still going to be well out. How do you stay in the zone for the final 4 holes, knowing that it's essentially over, really?
Yeah, I mean, there's many ways to look at any situation for me, and yeah, very quickly the head could go, and you're just looking silly out there. Or you stay focused, aligned, and you go through your processes, and every shot counts, and you're working again for the next week, the next tournament. You're still learning. You never stop learning. So, I think the worst thing is when your head's either in the past, which you've got no control of, or it's in the future, where again it's got no control of. So it's still exactly the same. If you can work on the moment, staying in that present, and going through your process, going through your routines, getting your brain into that same place, there really shouldn't be anything different, whether you're playing good or bad, whether you're winning or whether you're perceived losing. I think staying in the moment is the most important thing.
I like that as well, that it's sort of perceived losing, even if you are down the lead. But I suppose you can change that perception to be like, okay, look, if I can birdie 2 of the last 4 holes, then I can consider that a success, and I can leave here on a positive.
Most definitely. I mean, every shot you ever hit really should have the same amounts of focus and attention. Now we know that's very difficult. If we're coming down the stretch to your inside and you're in contention, that golf shot naturally needs a little bit more. But there lies the problem anyway, or the issue. So if you train in a way where you can, either just reduce the meaning of that shot or heighten the meaning of that shot, at the end of the day, it's just another golf shot. It's just another golf shot. It's what you put onto it, which is the important thing.
And Mark, I find this question fascinating because I get nervous on the first tee, as you would do, even though when I'm just playing with mates, it doesn't really matter. There's nothing on it other than a bit of pride. But I still get nervous, especially if there's people around. You've been a pro, a reasonable length of time, let's say. Do you still get nervous on that first tee?
Yeah, most definitely. And actually, I like to feel nervous. It means that I'm doing something that means a lot to me. So without a shadow of a doubt, if I haven't got the nerves, either on the first tee or coming down the stretch, it means 2 different things. 1, I'm not caring enough, and 2, I'm not in contention. So I like to actually feel. I like to feel I like to feel alive, if that makes sense. If you've got the heightened heart rate, or you're a little bit clammier, or you're a little bit more focused, then without a shadow of a doubt, that's why I play golf, and I love that feeling.
The reason I like asking that question is because myself and a lot of people watching this video are probably your average golfer, 18 to, say, a 26 handicapper, shall we say. And when I watch people like yourself, Mark, at the 2020 Pro Tour, and I watch golf on the telly, watch European Tour, you watch PGA Tour, everybody just make it look so easy. And you just think, there can't be any nerves. They just rock up and just hit it like that, and it just goes exactly where they want it to do, and it's easy peasy, and they're just naturally gifted. It's not the case, though, is it? There's a lot of hard work that goes into becoming that good. Yeah,
it's a serious amount of work. I mean, not just the technical aspects or the physical aspects, but the mental aspects. And I mean, you've got to be physically fit, as we said. So I try to work hard on my fitness, even in this time of lockdown, stretching, running. Mentally, lots of good reading. I work with a team around me, and it's just a combination of everything. And like a duck on water, I suppose, or a swan on water, looking serene, but underneath always pedaling pretty fast. I don't think there's a professional golfer out there that isn't ever feeling that. And it's our stage. A golf course is the stage, so we prepare to go on to that stage, and we try and give the best show that we can.
Fantastic. And talking of the stage, of course, you've got your bag there. Now, one thing everybody likes to know, and I like to know for my own interest as well, is what type of equipment the pros play. So, Mark, can we just go through your bag and find out what you've got in it?
Sure.
Let's start from the top. Let's go driver down.
Okay, well, in driver, we've got a G30, Ping G30.
Yeah.
That's actually not one of the newer models. I've had that for probably 3 seasons now, and extra stiff shaft. A 7X, so it is a strong shaft. I stand at 6'6" and need a strong shaft for obviously the torque issues. And we've got also a matching 3-wood, same model. A cheeky little hybrid in there, which has been with me for forevermore. A bit old school, actually, my bag. It's a Srixon hybrid, 18 degrees. And I swap between that and a 3-iron, which is the TMB Titleist. Dependent on which golf course I'm playing, wind factors, and whether I'm feeling good with the 3-iron or the hybrid. They both serve the same purpose, if I'm honest. But
yes,
the 3-iron keeps a slightly lower ball flight.
So certainly for me, I'm a hybrid man. I couldn't hit a 3-iron, Mark. I've got no chance.
And then we've got the AP2 forged 718 Titleist. I've always played Titleist. I think they're, well, for me, a great brand. I love the product. All the way through from 3 to pitching wedge, and then we've got a couple of Miura wedges. I've actually dropped the 60-degree wedge. I've actually haven't had in the bag for nearly a season now. So sometimes, as I say, I have the 3-iron and hybrid in the bag, and haven't had the 60 for a while. Just dial up the bounce of the 50, 56, and that's quite versatile.
So 56 is your strongest degree wedge then. That's quite impressive.
At the moment, yeah, it may go back the other way, but.
And what about your putter, Mark? What do you tackle the greens with?
Yeah, I've just got actually a new Scotty camera, which is really nice. So the dual balance sent as the Futura 5 dual balance, 38 degrees, which is a big old thing. And obviously the counterbalance weighting. So that's lots of practice in the studio and being in here right now with the putt out mat. So keeping me.
So that's a mallet, isn't it? I imagine it's quite heavy. Does that style suit you better than blade?
Yeah, I mean, on fast greens, sometimes might need to be a little tweaked up, and I've got another putter which I go to, again, dependent on the greens, just a bit more of a standard blade, but I like it. Almost yields itself, so you haven't really got to work hard at it and just get the ball moving.
Fantastic. Now, look, Mark, I won't keep you too much longer. I appreciate you've got stuff to do. I know you've got trips to Augusta to sort out for November, haven't you? So if anybody's interested, get in touch with Mark for that.
Yeah.
But is there anybody else? I always like to end these on a bit of a positive note, a bit of a thank you. You've obviously had a wonderful career so far to date. And it sounds like it's going to continue to be very, very exciting. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to throughout your career who's helped you? Any sponsors, any family members, coaches, etc., who've really sort of helped guide your career?
Oh, this sounds like a really cheesy part of the interview, doesn't it?
It is really cheesy. It is. It is. But I'll tell you what, it's important. It's an important part.
No, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, I've got a couple of guys that at the moment we're obviously through this just trying to communicate what the future looks like, but obviously sponsors. Very good friend of mine, Phil Nooms, Gary Pike. They've really helped me technically with the golf swing. Big shout outs to Reeves, who's actually a former professional footballer for Wolverhampton Wanderers. So he's helped me out massively with my mind, and also as Nick Lees. So these guys really know what they're doing. It's helped me, without a shadow of a doubt, to get through, some business areas, some personal areas of my life, and obviously now, most importantly, performance, being back on the golf course. So yeah, and a good friend of mine out in Switzerland. Won't mention his name, but he knows who he is. So.
Fantastic. Look, Mark, I really, really do appreciate your time. It's been an absolute pleasure finding out about you, your career in golf, the things you're continuing to do, where it's going. It sounds really, really exciting, and it's been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to see you back out on the 2020 Pro Tour later in the year, and I will be walking up to you with the camera again. So thank you. And thank you for not brushing me aside as well, because I did catch you after we were walking down to the green, weren't we? So, so thank you.
I think actually you did get the tee shot. Yeah, and you did say, "Oh, this looks good. This looks great," and it was actually missed the green on the right. And then you got the cameras on me. You got the cameras on me, and it was the worst lie ever. But played a good one. So,
good man, good man. Hey, that's live TV for you.
Wicked. All right, well, you've been an absolute star. Thank you also.
It's been a real pleasure, Mark. Thank you so much. Thank you.
See you guys soon.